For further advice on this week's topic, you can ring 01 992 5522 this Tuesday during office hours. And for the free information sheet which accompanies the series, please send a large stamped addressed envelope with 15.5 postage to Education Shop, BBC Television, London W12 8QT. And now on BBC One, the news headlines from Kenneth Kendall.
Good afternoon. The Soviet leader, Mr. Brezhnev, has flown unexpectedly to Prague for tomorrow's Czech Communist Party Congress. It's believed he'll be joined there later today by the leaders of Hungary, East Germany and Bulgaria for what looks like a Warsaw Pact summit to discuss the situation in Poland. There's no sign yet, though, of the Polish communist leaders themselves going to Prague. Mr. Brezhnev, who hasn't attended an Eastern Bloc Party Congress for many years, is in Czechoslovakia at a time of continuing Warsaw Pact maneuvers in and around Poland and renewed Soviet press attacks on both the Solidarity Union and Poland's communist authorities. The East Germans say Soviet commanders have brought fresh troops from deep inside their territory to join the maneuvers, including tank, rocket and artillery units, while the Soviet newspaper Pravda warned today that fraternal action by the Warsaw Pact countries would rebuff any imperialist threats to undermine Poland. America's Secretary of State Alexander Haig, in further talks with Egypt's President Sadat, is believed to have discussed setting up an anti-Soviet alliance of Middle East countries. Mr. Haig is now on his way to Israel, next stop on his 9-nation tour. The situation in Lebanon will be one of the subjects Israel's cabinet is expected to raise with Mr. Haig later today. Israel's foreign minister said this morning that his country was watching the situation north of their border with anxiety. His warning came as yesterday's ceasefire between Syrian forces and the Christian militia was broken by a renewed exchange of artillery fire in Beirut and the eastern town of Zahra. Italian police say they've rounded up another suspected leader of the Red Brigade terrorists. Yesterday they arrested Mario Moretti, thought to have organized the kidnap and murder of former Prime Minister Aldo Moro. Today, police identified one of the others held as Enrico Fenzi, who's wanted in connection with the kidnapping last December of an Italian judge. They've also uncovered a Red Brigade's base near Milan's central station. 6 people were taken to hospital after fire badly damaged a hotel in Westminster early today. One man was badly burned, but his condition is now said to be stable. 2 floors of the hotel were affected, and police are now arranging for many of the guests to move into nearby hotels. There are expected to be no passenger flights in or out of Belfast after midnight because of a strike by airport ground staff, including firemen. It follows the breakdown of pay talks and is expected to last several days. British Airways say they can't make alternative arrangements for passengers. Well, that's all for the moment. The next news will be at 10 to 6.
And now a look at the weather. Most places will be cloudy, but Western Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales and Western England will have some sunny intervals. Central and Eastern England will stay dull and misty with a little rain in places, but it will become mainly dry later. It'll be another cold day in the east and a little less warm than recently in western areas. Well, this afternoon's programmes continue in a moment with Film Matinee. Gene Kelly, Dan Daly and Sid Charisse open a season of Hollywood musicals with MGM's It's Always Fair Weather, a song and dance story about 3 wartime buddies who meet up 10 years later for a reunion on the town. Bonanza, the famed Western series, is at 3:30 with an adventure entitled Caution, Easter Bunny Crossing. And at 4:20, Raymond Baxter recalls the 1980 Farnborough Air Show and his own flights, and also talks about flight display techniques. Jimmy Hill introduces Match of the Day at 4:50, which includes the result of last month's Goal of the Month competition. Programmes for this afternoon here on BBC One. Beginning now with Film Matinee, and the first in a season of Hollywood musicals.